The moment Liu Rian heard her first love was coming back, she couldn't wait to break up with me. She even handed me a huge sum of money and made me sign a non-disclosure agreement, forbidding me from ever telling anyone about our 3 years living together. What she didn't know was that she'd just found out she was pregnant. I signed the agreement right away, took the money, and left without looking back, off to find my own first love. Liu Ryan had gone for a physical and accidentally discovered she was pregnant. But she didn't know yet. I was the one who'd picked up her test results. I had no idea how to tell her. After all, we'd lived together for 3 whole years, and she'd never told anyone about us. She'd always insisted I be extremely careful. More than once, she'd made it perfectly clear that her heart belonged to someone else, her first love. I was just a stand-in, someone to pass the time with while he was away. That's why we only lived together. No relationship, no labels. And she would absolutely never have a child with me. She'd only ever have children for her first love. I wasn't worthy. If she found out about the pregnancy, she'd fly into a rage. She'd lose her mind. She'd be unreasonable, refuse to listen to a word I said, and immediately decide I'd poked holes in the condoms on purpose. If she decided that, the consequences would be unthinkable. Using her family's influence to blacklist me and run me out of Zhengcheng would be the least of it. If she decided to have me physically harmed, that would be a nightmare. But you can't hide something like a pregnancy forever. Even if I kept it quiet for now, she'd start having morning sickness sooner or later. By the time she was throwing up every morning or her stomach started showing, finding out I'd hidden it from her would only make everything worse. Then it wouldn't just be me she'd come after. My family would get dragged into it too. The fan. Sign this. I was standing there, outwardly calm but torn apart inside, when Liu Rian walked out of the bedroom speaking. Her long hair flowed down her back. Her figure was elegant, her eyes bright with excitement. But her tone toward me was ice cold, almost like an order. In her hand was some kind of agreement. I took it, confused, and read it. It was a breakup agreement. And a strict confidentiality clause. I was never to breathe a word about our 3 years living together. The breakup fee and hush money came to 1 billion yuan total. But once I signed, if I ever let it slip, even if I was drunk, even if it was completely out of my control, even if someone held a knife to my throat and threatened to kill me, if I so much as hinted at our life together, I'd have to pay triple damages. 30 billion yuan. My first love is back. Sign it. Let's end this cleanly. As I read the agreement, Liu Ryan spoke coldly beside me. This was perfect timing. I'd been stressing over how to tell her about the pregnancy. And her first love shows up right on cue, ready to take over responsibility? This was the best surprise I could have asked for. I was so excited, so thrilled inside I could barely contain it. But I took a deep breath and forced my expression under control. I didn't let a single bit of it show. Actually, I dared not let it show. Instead, I put on a face of utter misery, of reluctance, like the last thing I wanted was to sign. Hurry up and sign. This isn't a negotiation. It's an order. We're not even from the same world. If you dare refuse, I have plenty of ways to make you sign. And I might even change my mind. Then you can kiss that billion goodbye. Liu Ryan went on, colder than ever, her face full of impatience and arrogance. Fine, I'll sign, right now. Before she could finish speaking, I blurted it out. I had no choice. I was terrified she'd actually change her mind and take the billion back. That's more like it. 1 billion. For someone at the bottom of society like you, that's more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime. It'll set you up for good. Take the money and get out. I don't want to see you in this house for another second. And I definitely don't want my first love to find you here. No sooner had I signed than Liu Ryan transferred the billion yuan to me, practically shoving me out the door. I was even more eager to leave than she was to get rid of me. But I didn't let it show. I just kept acting heartbroken and defeated, silently packing all my clothes from the past 3 years into one tiny suitcase. Only then did I drag it out the door. Walking out of the Liu family villa, I felt like a bird finally set free from its cage. I was lighter than air, utterly free. From now on I wouldn't have to worry about Liu Ryan's pregnancy. And with her billion yuan, the sky was the limit. I could go chase my own happiness. After all, it wasn't like only Liu Ryan had a first love. I had mine too. I hailed a taxi right then and headed straight for my first love. Her name was Bai Xue. We'd grown up together, childhood sweethearts. The year we took the college entrance exam, we both got into Jiangcheng University with top scores, 2 golden phoenixes flying out of the mountains. In college, neither of us ever confessed our feelings out loud. But what we had was as real as any couple's. I was waiting until we graduated. I always thought she was waiting too. Once we graduated and had steady jobs, we'd tell each other how we felt and get married. But after graduation, I got a job at the Liu Group without a problem. She couldn't find work anywhere. Day after day went by. She grew quieter and quieter. Then one day, out of nowhere, she had a huge fight with me and stormed off. I thought she was just upset about not finding a job, so I didn't go after her. I had no idea that would be the last time I saw her. I tried calling her, but her number was already disconnected. I sent her WeChat messages. I'd been blocked. Even her family had no idea where she was. Someone told me they'd seen her get into a rich older man's fancy car the day we fought. She'd left with him. She'd taken the easy way out after all. Our love, never even properly confessed, had lost to reality. After all, even though I'd gotten into the Liu Group, I was still just a nobody at the very bottom. And she couldn't find a job at all. She couldn't see a future for us. So she'd chosen a rich older man with a fancy car to change her life. Her path ahead would be smooth and easy from then on. Mine? It went dark. That's when Liu Ryan found me. The Liu Group was her family's company. She was the wealthy heiress, the only heir. Out of all the employees there, I never understood why she picked me. Maybe because I was good looking, and from a poor mountain village with no status or background, easy on the eyes, and easy to control. She was blunt about it, no beating around the bush, arrogant and utterly sure of herself. Like I was just prey in her palm. She wanted me to be her stand-in, to keep her company while her first love was gone. Just live together, no relationship, no children. I agreed happily. She thought I was after her looks and her money. Little did she know she only wanted my body, and I only wanted hers right back. For 3 whole years after that, she used me as a replacement for her first love to fight her loneliness. And I used her body to get through the long nights missing Bai Xue. I just played the part, acting like the devoted doormat you see in those short dramas, to hide how I really felt. And she bought it. She really thought I was some lapdog she could call whenever she wanted and dismiss whenever she was done. 3 years of living together, and she paid me off with 1 billion yuan. 1 billion yuan, an unimaginable fortune to me. To her? Just pocket change. What she didn't know was that while her first love was coming back, mine had finally resurfaced too. A week earlier, a college classmate had quietly told me she'd seen Bai Xue. Bai Xue didn't seem to be doing well. She was living alone in a tiny rental in an old neighborhood. I had no idea what Bai Xue had been through these past 3 years. Had her shortcut failed? Had that rich older man dumped her? Or had she had her reasons from the very start? But one thing I was sure of, Bai Xue didn't want to see me. She was actively avoiding me. And honestly, I hadn't tried to see her either. I was too scared. Scared Liu Ryan would find out I'd gone to see her. Scared Bai Xue would find out I'd been living with Liu Ryan for 3 years. Especially after I got Liu Ryan's pregnancy test results. Because no matter why she'd left me 3 years ago, my love for her hadn't changed. If anything, it was stronger. The last thing I wanted was for her to get dragged into any of this. But things were different now. Liu Ryan's first love was back. There was someone to take responsibility for Liu Ryan's baby, and she didn't even know it yet. And I'd signed a confidentiality agreement with Liu Ryan. No one but her would ever know we lived together. As for the baby, as long as I never said a word, Liu Ryan herself would probably never figure out it was mine. And I had a whole 1 billion yuan now. I had the confidence to go find Bai Xue. She was living alone in that tiny old rental, struggling to get by, wasn't she? I'd take that 1 billion yuan and give her the happy life she deserved. When I knocked on Bai Xue's door, she called out from inside, confused. "Who is it?" Her voice was still so familiar. Familiar enough to make my heart leap and ache at the same time. It felt like we were back 3 years ago. My heart was pounding. My eyes stung like I was about to cry. The door opened. Bai Xue had been wearing a confused look, but the second she saw me she froze. She just stood there staring at me, completely still. She'd lost weight. She looked tired. But she was still beautiful. There was so much in her eyes. Surprise, joy, sadness, and something that looked like she wanted to run away. Yet her eyes were glistening with tears just like mine, as if she was about to cry. "It's you? How did you find this place?" She finally spoke after a long pause. She didn't invite me in, but she didn't turn me away either. She just turned and walked toward the sofa in the living room. And I thought I saw her blink a few times quickly, as if wiping away tears. I followed her inside and pulled her into a tight embrace. She struggled a little, but not hard. Of course I didn't let go. I didn't ask her where she'd been all these years, or what had happened. I didn't say a single word of blame for how cruelly she'd left without a word back then. "Bai Xue, I'm sorry. 3 years ago I lost you. Now I finally found you again. I'll never let you leave me again. Never, ever." I held her even tighter, my voice cracking. For all my pride as a man, I couldn't hold back the tears any longer. They rolled down my cheeks in big hot drops. She stopped struggling and let me hold her. Finally she broke down too, burying her face in my shoulder and crying hard. But even after she'd cried herself calm, she never said a single word about where she'd been these past 3 years. She didn't ask about me either. And of course I didn't tell her. How could I? That I'd been secretly living with Liu Ryan for 3 years, and that I'd even gotten her pregnant by accident. Just then her phone rang. She answered it right in front of me. For a moment it felt like we were back 3 years ago. She was still so open with me, like she had nothing to hide. A warm feeling spread through my chest. I couldn't bring myself to hold a grudge anymore about how she'd left me for that rich older man with the fancy car. It felt like she really hadn't taken the easy way out, like she'd had no choice back then. It was her best friend on the line, someone I didn't know. "Jingshin is back in the country. I'm throwing a welcome dinner for him tonight in private room 1 at Zhongcheng Grand Hotel. You have to come. And if you have a boyfriend, bring him too," her best friend said excitedly. Bai Xue was far less excited. She froze for a second, like she didn't want to go. But then she glanced at me, and as if she couldn't bear to let her friend down, she nodded and said a quiet, "Okay," into the phone. "Great. It's settled then. 6 p.m. tonight, private room 1 at Zhongcheng Grand Hotel. Be there, or be square. And remember, definitely bring your boyfriend if you have one," her best friend added, emphasizing the last part before hanging up. Bai Xue looked at me again but said nothing. But I could feel it. She already saw me as her boyfriend. And she was planning to bring me tonight. My chest swelled with joy, with a giddy kind of anticipation. I couldn't wait for her to introduce me to everyone at the dinner. Finally it was nearly 6 o'clock. Bai Xue and I arrived at private room 1 of Zhongcheng Grand Hotel 10 minutes early. Quite a few people were already seated around the table. One man in particular, dressed in fancy clothes with an expensive watch, oozing wealth and pretension, was clearly the guest of honor. He was holding forth animatedly, talking a mile a minute, and almost everyone else was hanging on his every word, fawning over him. The two people sitting closest to him, one on each side, didn't even seem to mind his spittle flying in their direction. He was sitting in the seat of honor right facing the door. He was the first to spot us the moment we walked in. "Bai Xue, you made it. This your boyfriend? Doesn't look like much. Forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jingshin. Just got back from studying abroad. I'm the guest of honor tonight. Oh, and I actually pursued Bai Xue back in college. She turned me down though. Say, where do you work? Must not be a great job, huh? Want me to hook you up with something better?" The man's eyes lit up when he saw Bai Xue, then turned to me with nothing but contempt and mockery. "No need. He has a great job. He's been working at the Liu Group since 3 years ago." Before I could say a word, Bai Xue replied coldly, "The Liu Group? Impressive, I guess. But, let's be real, with your background, you're probably just some low-level employee, right? You know Liu Ryan? The heiress of the Liu Group, their only heir? I'm her first love, the one she's never gotten over. She's coming later tonight. So you better be on your best behavior when we drink. Wait on me properly. Otherwise I'll have her fire you. Ji Jingshen said, preening with even more arrogance. I froze on the spot. Bai Xue and I had been on different campuses in college. I'd had no idea Zhu Jingshen had pursued her. And I certainly had no idea he was Liu Ryan's first love. For 3 years Liu Ryan had reminded me time and again that her heart belonged to someone else. That we only lived together, no relationship, no labels, and definitely no children. Even today. The reason she'd suddenly made me sign that breakup agreement was because her first love was coming back from abroad. But she'd never told me his name. I had no idea it was Zhu Jingshen. If I'd known, there's no way I would have come to this welcome dinner tonight. I snapped out of it quickly and was about to make an excuse to leave. But before I could speak, a tall, stunning woman in fashionable clothes walked in. It was Liu Ryan. Almost everyone had been staring at me with mockery just a second ago, but all eyes turned to her at once, bright with interest. I quickly looked away, pretending I hadn't seen her, hoping she wouldn't spot me. And she didn't. She didn't really see anyone in the room. Her eyes were only for Zhu Jingshen. They were shining the way they'd never shone for me. Full of love, full of joy. Ryan, you're here. Come on, sit here. Let me introduce you. These are all my college classmates. Oh, and you know this guy, right? He's my beautiful classmate's boyfriend. Says he's been working at your Liu group for 3 years now. Zhu Jingshen was doing this on purpose, trying to humiliate me. He was sure I was just some nobody at the Liu group. There was no way Liu Ryan would know who I was, but now that he'd said it, I couldn't keep pretending I hadn't seen her. I had no choice but to turn toward Liu Ryan with an awkward smile. That was when she finally noticed me. The bright, happy smile she'd worn for Zhu Jingshen vanished. She froze for a split second, then panic flickered across her face. But it was gone in the blink of an eye. Before almost anyone could notice, she'd composed herself again. You say you work at the Liu group? I don't think I've ever seen you. Are you sure? She said, ice cold and aloof. And she gave me a subtle, threatening look that no one else could catch, warning me to keep my mouth shut. He didn't say that. I did. Miss Liu is the heiress of the Liu group. It's only normal you wouldn't know some low-level employee. Bai Xue spoke up quickly, probably sensing the disapproval in Liu Ryan's tone. I knew it. Even after 3 whole years at the Liu group, he's just some nobody. Why would you know him? Even if he catches a glimpse of you at the company, he can only look from far away. He'd never get to speak to you. Eating at the same table as you tonight? This must be the greatest honor of his life. And he owes it all to me. If it weren't for my welcome dinner, he'd never get to sit at the same table as you in a million years. Hey, what are you standing there for? Get over here and toast me and your director, Liu, Zhu Jingshen said, treating me like an even bigger joke. Right, of course, I said quickly. But inside I thought he was the real joke, far more of a joke than he thought I was. I hadn't just eaten at the same table as Liu Ryan. I'd slept in the same bed as her. For 3 whole years. And right now she was carrying my child. When it was time to toast, Bai Xue stepped up beside me voluntarily. As we drank with them, I could have sworn I saw a flicker of something like jealousy in Liu Ryan's eyes when she looked at Bai Xue. Like she was envious. After 3 toasts in a row, something occurred to me, and I said quickly to Liu Ryan, Director, Liu, you have so many work dinners. You should try not to drink too much. As if I need your concern. To my surprise, she shot me a cold, sharp look. Then her eyes flicked down to the hand I had resting on Bai Xue's waist. Once again, I had the feeling she really was jealous of me and Bai Xue. But that made no sense, did it? Hadn't her heart always belonged only to her first love? For 3 years she'd drilled it into me over and over. We only lived together, no relationship, no children. And today, she'd broken up with me over a signed agreement. All for her first love. What? Already drunk after 3 glasses? Forgetting your place already? You think just because you got lucky enough to drink with Director Liu thanks to me, you have the right to care about her? Telling her to drink less? Look at yourself. Who do you think you are? Zhu Jingshen sneered, clearly annoyed. Who did I think I was? I was the guy who'd lived with Liu Ryan for 3 whole years. And I didn't actually care about Liu Ryan. I cared about the baby she was carrying, my baby. But I couldn't say that. We'd signed an agreement after all. If I breathed a word, I'd have to pay triple damages. 30 billion yuan. I couldn't pay that even if I sold myself. Besides, this wasn't just Liu Ryan's secret to hide. It was mine too. I was more scared of Bai Xue finding out than I was of Zhu Jingshen finding out. Right, you're right. I overstepped my bounds. I had no business forgetting my place and presuming to tell Director Liu to drink less. Tell you what, I'll punish myself with a drink. And tonight's on me. I'll cover the whole bill, as my apology to Director Liu. I poured myself a glass of wine and drained it in one go, apologizing as I did. What? You're paying? Do you even know where you are? Do you have any idea how much a bottle of that wine costs? You? A bottom-rung nobody at the Liu Group? You're gonna pick up the tab? Can you even afford it? Bai Xue, is this really the boyfriend you picked? I swear he doesn't just lack ability, he's got a screw loose too. Who does he think he's fooling? Ha ha ha. Zhu Jingshen burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. Nearly everyone else joined in, cackling along. Director Liu, Mr. Jiu. The fans just had too much to drink. There's no way he can pay for this. I'll take back what he said. Please. Bai Xue tugged at the hem of my shirt anxiously, trying to smooth things over with Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen. Shut up. You think you can just take it back like that? Don't think I'll go easy on you just because I pursued you back in college. If anything, I'm gonna be even harder on him because you turned me down. Of course I know he can't afford the bill. But running your mouth like that has consequences. If he gets on his knees, slaps himself in the face, admits he was wrong, and calls me grandpa 3 times, then maybe I'll consider covering the bill for him. Zhu Jingshen stared at me, smug and triumphant. Get on your knees, slap yourself. Call him grandpa, hurry up. Then young Master Zhu will pay for you. Do you have any idea how much tonight's gonna cost? At least hundreds of thousands. Losing a little pride's a small price to pay. Besides, you don't have a choice. You can't afford a bill that big. That's what you get for running your mouth. Ha ha ha. Nearly everyone else yelled excitedly, egging him on. You ... you people ... you're just bullying him. Tears welled up in Bai Xue's eyes, she was so upset. Bullying him? So what if we are? These days money talks. If you've got money, you call the shots. He's the one running his mouth when he can't back it up. He deserves whatever he gets. Zhu Jingshen said, arrogant and domineering. Zhu Jingshen, is that right? You said money talks? That having money means you can act however you want? What if I do pay for tonight? I looked at him and smiled meaningfully. The fan. Are you crazy? Shut up right now. Young Master Zhu, please don't take him seriously. He's really had too much to drink today. Bai Xue tugged at my shirt even harder, panic-stricken, smiling apologetically at Zhu Jingshen. Yeah, money talks. I said it. If you really can pay for tonight, I'll get on my knees. Right here, slap myself in the face to apologize and call you grandpa. But can you afford it? And if you can't, don't blame me when I have security force you to your knees, make you slap yourself, and make you call me grandpa. Ha 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 ha. Zhu Jingshen laughed even harder, smug and vicious. Fine, you said it yourself. Deal. Don't go back on your word once I've paid. I smiled, amused by how far this was going. I said it, and I mean it. Deal's a deal. Anyone who backs out is a spineless coward. Hey, waiter. Go get your manager right now. I want to make this beat official in front of him. Idiot. I bet you've never even been to Zhangcheng Grand Hotel before, have you? Making a bet here, especially in front of the manager. If anyone loses and tries to weasel out, they break an arm or a leg. Those are the rules. Zhu Jingshen was even smugger and more menacing than before. Ah, no, please don't, single quotes T. The fan apologized to young Master Zhu right now. Director Liu, please, he works for the Liu Group. Talk some sense into young Master Zhu. Make him let the fan off the hook. Bai Xue was in tears, begging Liu Ryan desperately. Bai Xue, are you serious? You want Ryan to beg me on his behalf? Ryan's the esteemed heiress of the Liu family, their only heir. He's just some nobody, a tiny little bottom-rung employee at the Liu Group. He doesn't deserve to have Ryan beg for him. Waiter, what are you waiting for? Hurry up. I can't wait to see this idiot get on his knees and call me grandpa, or see him get an arm or a leg broken, Zhu Jingshen said, giddy with excitement. The waiter flinched and ran off to fetch the manager at once. When the manager arrived soon after, Liu Ryan never once spoke up for me. She just watched coldly from the sidelines. That confused me a little. After all, she wasn't like everyone else there. She knew perfectly well I could afford tonight's bill. Did she, after 3 years of saying we only lived together with no feelings involved, actually still care about me a little? Did she not want to see me humiliated by Zhu Jingshen? Or was she watching Zhu Jingshen practically throw himself at me, waiting to let him get what was coming to him? But Zhu Jingshen was supposed to be the first love she'd never gotten over. That didn't make any sense. While I was puzzling over this, Zhu Jingshen had already eagerly told the manager all about our bet. Nearly everyone else around chimed in, excitedly backing him up and confirming the bet was real. Manager ... double quotes the fans, my boyfriend. He's just had too much to drink ... When begging Zhu Jingshen and Liu Ryan got her nowhere, Bai Xue turned to the manager crying, "Quiet, you think this is some street stall? This is Zhongcheng Grand Hotel. Our manager doesn't just come running for nothing. Are you trying to waste his time? That's not just rude, that's insulting." Zhu Jingshen snapped at her sharply, then turned to the manager with an obsequious smile. "Manager, can we settle the bill early? He's dying to see me get on my knees and call him grandpa. And I'm dying to see him lose." I pulled out my bank card and smiled at the manager. The manager and nearly everyone else froze. To him, and to almost everyone there, I was just trash from the bottom of society. There was no way I could afford the bill. And here I was offering to pay early. Was I asking for trouble? Damn it. Enough with the act. I can't take this anymore. If you're dead set on making a fool of yourself, fine by me. Manager, let him pay early. We haven't even ordered most of the food yet, but 500,000 should cover it, right? Make him pay 500,000 now. Zhu Jingshen snarled. The manager said nothing, just nodded at the nearby waiter. The waiter hurried over, took my bank card, and swiped it through the POS terminal. Zhu Jingshen and nearly everyone else stared fixed at the machine, waiting for me to be proven wrong. Bai Xue clung to my arm, her hands shaking with nerves. Then the POS terminal beeped, confirming a successful payment of 500,000 yuan. Everyone except Liu Ryan stared, stunned. This can't be, ... He actually paid 500,000. They gaped at me, wide-eyed and disbelieving. No, impossible, there's no way. He's just some low-level grunt at the Liu Group. How could he just drop 500,000 like it's nothing? Manager, there must be something wrong with your POS machine. Yeah, that's it. Your machine must be broken. Manager, swap it out for another one. Don't let this loser scam you. Zhu Jingshen babbled frantically at the manager. You dare question the POS terminals at Zhongcheng Grand Hotel? The manager's gaze turned sharp as he looked at Zhu Jingshen. No, ... I'm not questioning your machines, it's just some nobody from the bottom of society. How could he possibly, ... Zhu Jingshen stammered, even more flustered. Our hotel's POS terminals never malfunction. But to put your mind at rest, I'll have them bring another one. The manager said coldly, then waved at the waiter. Soon the waiter brought over a new POS machine. Zhu Jingshan's eyes lit up again, hopeful that I'd be proven wrong. But seconds later, the machine displayed the record. A 500,000 yuan charged 2 minutes prior. And a remaining balance of nearly 1 billion yuan. This time, everyone was even more shocked than before. No way, this can't be happening. The fans just trash from the bottom of society. How could he have 1 billion yuan? Zhu Jingshen collapsed onto the floor screaming in despair. Well? Still think there's something wrong with our POS machines? Then how about you honor our bet? This is Zhongcheng Grand Hotel. I don't think I need to tell you what happens to people who don't keep their bets here. The manager stared Zhu Jingshen down, his expression severe. I'll honor the bet. Right now. Terrified, Zhu Jingshen scrambled to his feet, dropped to his knees in front of me, and slapped himself repeatedly. He admitted he'd been wrong to judge me by my appearance, and called me Grandpa 3 times in a row. There we go. Good boy. Grandpa's got things to do. Won't be staying for dinner with you folks. And hey, I wish you and Director Liu a long and happy life together. May you have a baby soon. I smiled, thoroughly pleased with myself. After all, the money in my account came from Liu Ryan, Zhu Jingshen's girlfriend, or rather, his future wife. Not only had I been with Zhu Jingshen's woman for 3 whole years, but I'd also humiliated him brutally with the very money she'd given me. How could I not feel absolutely triumphant? Then I took Bai Xue by the hand and walked out of the private room, leaving the hotel behind. I hailed a taxi and we hurried back to the rental apartment where Bai Xue was staying. Even after we got out of the taxi and reached her place, she kept staring at me in disbelief, asking where I'd gotten all that money. I smiled and didn't answer. Instead, I told her to pack quickly. We had to leave town that very night. Bai Xue stared at me, even more stunned than before. You know exactly who Zhu Jingshen is, don't you? To your classmates, he's young Master Zhu. And to Liu Ryan, he's the one she's always loved, her first love. Liu Ryan is the heiress of the Liu Group. One of the wealthiest, most powerful heirs in all of Zhengcheng. He only held back there because we were at Zhengcheng Grand Hotel, especially with the manager watching. He didn't dare do anything then. But we're not at the hotel anymore. You think they won't come after us for revenge? And with their power? Even if I have almost 1 billion yuan in my account, that's only a fortune to people like us. To Liu Ryan and people like her? It is just pocket change. Crushing us would be easier for them than squashing 2 ants. If we don't get out of here before they make their move, are we just gonna sit around and wait for them to come for us? I said to Bai Xue. Bai Xue tensed up at once. She quickly packed a few essentials and we dragged our suitcases out of the apartment in a hurry. We'd just stepped out of the residential complex and were about to hail another taxi when over a dozen luxury cars came, roaring up and surrounded us completely. I cursed inwardly. This is bad. So Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen had come for revenge after all. I just hadn't expected them to move this fast. Looks like there's no way out of this tonight. They can come after me all they want, but I will never let them hurt Bai Xue. I quickly stepped in front of her, shielding her. Almost at once, all the car doors swung open. Dozens of short-haired men in sharp suits and sunglasses poured out, bodyguards by the look of them. But they didn't charge at us. They just stood, straight and still, lining up on either side of us. Then the door of the last luxury car slowly opened. That must be where Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen were sitting, I thought. After all, the most important, most pretentious people always make their entrance last. Liu Ryan, Zhu Jingshen, you can take your revenge on me for all I care. But I will never let you hurt Bai. I snarled toward the car through gritted teeth. But before I could finish my sentence, I froze. The people who stepped out of the car were not Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen at all. They were an elderly couple I'd never seen before, a man and a woman, both clearly very wealthy. What's more, the old woman looked strangely familiar somehow, like I'd seen her somewhere before. But I couldn't place her, not right away. Daughter, your father and I have come to our senses. We won't force you to cut ties with your adoptive parents ever again. And we won't stop you from seeing the fan either. We just beg you, come home with us. The old couple walked toward us as they spoke, tears streaming down their faces, their voices thick with sobs, almost begging Bai Xue. We welcomed the young mistress home. The dozens of bodyguards lined up on both sides bowed in unison and said to Bai Xue, "Fine, I'll come home with you. But the fan is coming with me. And I'm bringing my adoptive parents to the capital too." Bai Xue said to the old couple calmly. "Wonderful. Is perfect. As long as you'll come home with us, that's all that matters. We'll agree to anything you say." The old couple cried tears of joy, even more overcome with emotion. I just stood there staring, stunned. It took me a while to find my voice and ask Bai Xue what on earth was going on. That was when Bai Xue told me the truth. It turned out that even though Bai Xue and I had grown up together as childhood sweethearts in that poor mountain village, The parents who'd raised her weren't her real parents. They were just her adoptive family. She'd only found out 3 years ago. 3 years prior, her birth parents had tracked her down. And her birth family was the wealthiest, most powerful clan in the entire capital. They'd wanted to take her back to the capital to inherit their trillion-yuan fortune. But they'd had one condition: she had to cut all ties with her adoptive parents. And she wasn't allowed to see me anymore either. At first, she'd refused outright. But her birth parents had pulled strings to make sure she couldn't find a job anywhere in Zhengcheng. They'd threatened her too, said if she kept seeing me, it wouldn't just be about her not being able to find work. They'd make sure I lost my job too. Or worse, make me disappear entirely. She'd had no choice. She'd gotten in her birth father's car and left Jiangcheng, vanishing from my life without a trace. And she'd been gone for 3 whole years. But in the capital she'd never been happy, not even for a single day. She missed her adoptive parents every single day. And her feelings for me had only grown stronger with every passing day, like weeds taking root. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, didn't even feel like talking to anyone. Until not long ago, when she couldn't take it anymore. She'd snuck out of the house and run away. And made her way back to Zhengcheng in secret. But she knew her birth parents would find her sooner or later. She didn't want to drag me into it, so she'd rented that tiny apartment and stayed there alone, never reaching out to me. And sure enough, just as she'd expected, before she could have much peace, her birth mother had tracked her down. And the elderly couple standing in front of us were her birth parents. No wonder the old woman had looked familiar the second I saw her. She looked just like Bai Xue, that's why. And no wonder everything had happened the way it did 3 years ago. Before she vanished from my life, people had seen her get into a rich older man's fancy car. Turns out that older man was Bai Xue's birth father. And just as I'd always believed, she hadn't taken the easy way out. She'd had her reasons. 19 years flew by in the blink of an eye. Bai Xue and I now had a daughter of our own, nearly 18 years old, graceful and bright. Over those 19 years, I'd changed my phone number, deleted my old WeChat account, cut off every last way Liu Ryan could reach me. I had no idea what had become of her in Jingshan. All my focus had been on my career and my family. I'd grown Bai Xue's family business into something incredible. We'd not only solidified our family's position as the wealthiest clan in the capital, but expanded the company overseas as well. And it was still growing, still getting stronger. Most importantly, we had a happy, loving family. Our daughter was beautiful, capable, and mature. We'd never had to worry about her. And in the recent college entrance exam, she'd gotten a perfect score. The first in the capital's history, and been admitted to Singbei University. Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingxin, it turned out, had done pretty well for themselves too. They'd pulled all kinds of strings to get in touch with Secretary Qian. It was only when Secretary Qian mentioned them to me that I heard how they were doing. They'd actually gotten married just like they'd wanted. And with the power of both the Liu and Zhu families combined, they'd risen to become the wealthiest clan in Zhengcheng. Their only son was brilliant too. He'd gotten the top score in Zhengcheng on the exam, and also been admitted to Singbei University. Now, banking on their status as Zhengcheng's top family and their son's achievement as city top scorer, they were asking me for 100 billion yuan investment. Secretary Qian had seemed nervous after relaying their request. He was afraid I'd say no, but I'd agreed readily. Secretary Qian had been thrilled, and called them right away with the good news. They'd been over the moon when they heard. They'd even asked Secretary Qian to put in a good word for them, begging me to honor them with a visit to Jiangcheng. They wanted to hold the signing ceremony, their son's top scorer banquet, and the official announcement of their son as the sole legal heir of both the Jiyu and Luyu families, all together at Zhengcheng Grand Hotel. 3 grand celebrations all at once. If I deigned to attend in person, it would be the most glorious, legendary event Zhengcheng had ever seen. Tell them that I accept. My wife, daughter, and I will all be in attendance, I told Secretary Qian quietly with a smile. Secretary Qian was delighted again, and told them to prepare well, that I had agreed, and would be arriving with my wife and daughter. They'd been even more ecstatic, thanking Secretary Keon profusely. They said they'd spare no expense to make the banquet the grandest, most glorious event ever seen, all just waiting for our arrival. I couldn't help smiling to myself. I'd never felt more satisfied. After all, doing the math, their son, taking the college exam this year, he had to be the child Liu Ryan had been carrying all those years ago. Mine. They had raised my son so well. Not just the top scorer in the city, but admitted to Tsingbei University too. And now they were going to name my son the sole legal heir to both the Zhu and Liu families. That 100 billion yuan investment of mine, it'd really just be investing in my own son. What's more, I'd never lifted a finger to raise him, never even laid eyes on him from the day he was born. And now he was all grown up and accomplished, about to become the heir to both the Zhu and Liu families. It was about time I went to meet him. Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen had no idea, of course. They didn't even know that the couple heading the wealthiest clan in the capital was me and Bai Xue, and they had no idea what their faces would look like at that grand, glorious triple celebration banquet at Zhongchang Grand Hotel, when they saw me and Bai Xue walk in with our daughter. I was looking forward to it. Zhongchang Grand Hotel. The day of the triple celebration arrived. None of that silly short drama nonsense happened. No one stopped us at the door, mocked us for pretending to be the capital's wealthiest family, or riled up a crowd to teach us a lesson, only to end up ruined and blacklisted by us. We arrived at Zhongcheng Grand Hotel accompanied by Secretary Keon. Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen recognized Secretary Keon. And right then, the official website had just released the first ever candid family photos of the wealthiest clan in the capital, the three of us. So when Secretary Keon introduced us to Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen, they were too stunned to speak for a long while. But they didn't doubt our identities for a second. Director Liu, Director Zhu. What, long time no see, not happy to see us? Seeing them too stunned to form words, I smiled and held out my hand to them first. Ah, welcome, of course you're welcome. We just never expected it would be you two. Only then did Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen snap out of it, hurrying to shake hands with Bai Xue and me. Is this your top-scoring son? As I shook Zhu Jingshen's hand, I glanced at the boy standing behind him. He was a fine young man, tall, handsome, and you could tell just from his features that he was sharp and intelligent. That's him. Zhu Jingshen nodded repeatedly. He doesn't look much like you, does he? I said to Zhu Jingshen with a smile. Me. No, he doesn't take after me. He takes after his mother. They say boys who look like their mothers have good fortune. Zhu Jingshen nodded and smiled, his eyes full of deep love and pride for his son. Exactly. Boys who look like their mothers have good fortune. I nodded along and smiled too. Thank goodness he takes after his mother, I thought to myself. If he looked like me, that would be a problem. After that, I introduced the two children to each other. I made a show of asking Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen how old their son was, then remarked that the two were around the same age. Their son was a little older than our daughter, so they could treat each other as brother and sister. That way they'd have each other to look out for when they started at Tsingbei University. The two kids hit it off right away, calling each other brother and sister on the spot. Liu Ryan and Zhu Jingshen were even more thrilled. They said it wasn't just 3 celebrations anymore. Now their son had a little sister too, and the daughter of the wealthiest family in the capital at that. This was 4 reasons to celebrate, not 3. Later, the 100 billion yuan investment contract was signed. Zhu Jingshen spoke again, deeply moved. He said he'd never imagined I'd be the bigger person, let bygones be bygones, and sign a 100 billion yuan deal with them after how he'd acted all those years ago. What happened all those years ago is long forgotten. There's nothing to hold a grudge over. As a matter of fact, I've decided to add another 100 billion yuan in investment, as a gift to celebrate the 2 children becoming siblings. After all, since they're brother and sister now, your son might as well be my son too. I laughed loudly. What son? Quick, call him dad. Oh, and not just dad. Call Aunt Bai. No, call her mom. The 2 of them pulled their son forward, even more ecstatic. The room burst into applause, everyone offering their congratulations. The atmosphere in the hall reached a fever pitch, warmer and more celebratory than anyone had ever seen. In the story, Liu Ryan treats the fan as a stand-in for her first love. Throughout their 3 years of cohabitation, she always belittles his sincerity. The moment her first love returns from abroad, she immediately ends the relationship with money, with an arrogant and utilitarian attitude. The fan, by contrast, always cherishes his original intentions and true love. After walking away from the wrong relationship, he reunites with his childhood sweetheart, and builds both a successful career and a happy family through hard work. Those who trivialize true affection are trapped by their own choices, while those who remain sincere and steadfast have long climbed to a higher place in life. This warns us never to treat others' sincerity as a substitute for easing loneliness, nor to take being loved for granted. Neither relationships nor life can tolerate utilitarianism and contempt. How you treat true affection is how fate will treat you in return. Only by being sincere to others and staying true to yourself can you attain genuine happiness and fulfillment.